snow mountain that we had made for us. We live on a court, so all the snow got shoveled right into the middle, and this huge mountain was created, and the kids had so much fun on that. Even Penny, who really doesn't care for the snow or the cold, was all over it, and she was having so much fun. I was shocked. Shocked. Because when we go up to the cottage up north to visit my husband's father, she spends like maybe 5-10 minutes outside. It takes longer to get her dressed than it does for her to play outside. So I was very happy. And then she went to sleep right away at night. She was so tired. She's usually up 5 or 6 times before she actually like lies down and goes to sleep. So last night she didn't get up once and was asleep within 15 minutes. It was fantastic. So yes, but let's chat about knitting. I made myself this tea, which is delicious, but I kind of just want to chug water like crazy. But I was like, we're doing a podcast and we need to sit with our knitting and we need to sit with our tea and we need to chat. So tea it is. Oh well. I do want to tell you about the mug though, because it's handmade. It's got this awesome funky handle. It's just ginormous and I love it so much. But it's this wife and husband out of Guelph, and they have a best friend who has a kiln. So they just play around with pottery. They don't make anything specific. They don't make sets. They just make wonky cups with wonky handles, and then they sell it at markets. I thought it was so much fun. My husband picked up a mug and I got this one, and they were $10, which was very affordable for handmade pottery. And yeah, it's got, I don't know if you can see, it's got very light speckling on it. Yeah. And I love it. It's wonky, it's weird, it's perfect. So, I have a few things to share with you. December was a very busy month, knitting wise, and then January I started knitting like crazy. So the first thing I want to show you is my finished beanie. It is a new design, and it is not at all what it was supposed to be. Originally, I started off with having a large stockinette section on the side here, and it had a snowflake pattern in purl stitches on it. It was beautiful. I loved it, but you could not see it. The yarn just kind of made the whole thing disappear. I think I need to knit it in something tonal and maybe without mohair. But yeah, so the rest of the hat had this rib pattern, and I just really liked the way the rib pattern was looking, and I love the fitted look of this beanie. Like, there's no slouch. It's just perfectly fitted, and I love it. So I kept the 1x1 rib here. It is a folded brim, just folded. And then I went into the pattern, and yeah, here we are. I just finished it this morning. It's mohair and this sport weight yarn held together. Now this is from Crooked Kitchen Yarn. It's got, how can I show you best? There we go. Yeah, it's got a bit of the speckling here, some little bit of variegation. It's not really focusing, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's purpley. That's why I paired it with this, to bring out more of that purple. And this is just mohair from Kid Silk, or not Kid Silk, sorry, Drops Kid Silk mohair. That's what it is. But yeah, Yeah, so Cricket Kitchen is a local to me dyer. She was having a pop-up shop at my local yarn store. So I popped in, took a look, thought I was grabbing fingering weight yarn, grabbed sport weight, but it still turned out to be pretty much like a DK gauge. So even swapping the two for just a DK would work. And I'm pretty sure this is enough to knit myself a pair of mittens to match in color, not shape. I'm not going to be designing a pair of mittens to go with this, just a pair of mittens for myself, because I actually only have one pair of hand knit mittens and they are very warm. So hoping for just a little matching set, because I think that's really cute. The one thing I want to show you about the design though, is that I just noticed when I was weaving in the ends, is that it's reversible. So excuse my hair. So when you flip it out inside out, you have just the pearl, I guess it's your pearl bumps, I guess, but they're just opposite, right? So I thought it was really fun. And like I said, I just weaved in the ends. I haven't even blocked this. But there. I thought that looked really fun too, that you could wear it both ways. And my bangs are driving me crazy today. But yes, I thought it was really fun. And I like it. I like that it's reversible. I think that's gonna be great. I'm gonna take it off because I am sweating. And also, it is very dry in my house, so my hair is so staticky. It's awful. And I got my hair done just before Christmas. I colored it. I have dirty blonde hair, if you remember from my previous podcasts. And I got it dyed this beautiful shade of red, which I love, love, love. But I hate my bangs, and I'm really disappointed in them, and I can't wait for them to grow out, because, no. No, I don't like them. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, so much static. I'm sure you can't see it, but I can feel it, and it's just terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, so in December, I knit a total of two pairs of socks for my husband, and 2 pairs of socks for each of the kids, so 6 pairs of socks. And I will start off by showing you the ones I knit. Sorry, everything's right in front of me here. Really out of reach. There we go. So first off, I knit socks for December 6th, which is St. Nicholas's birthday. Is it his birthday or his name day? I think it's in Poland, we celebrate name days. So most people are named after saints. So in the calendar, you have 2 saints' names for each day of the year. And what happens is when you're born, it's the first time the saint's name appears in the calendar after your birth. So my dad, who was born in July, he was born July 1st, his name is Adam, and his name day is December 24th. I think it's 24th or 25th. Either way, we always celebrated around Christmas, and it was kind of like, it was weird. But most people, like, not presently, I don't think it's popular anymore to do it, but like my grandparents ended up celebrating their name days over their birthdays. They saw that as more important, which is very odd, I think, but it's a thing. Anyway, so St. Nicholas is on the 6th. So if you were born in Poland and your name was Nicholas, you would be celebrating your name day on December 6th. But in Poland, that was also a holiday, and my mom always explained it to me as it's his name day, so the elves would bring us presents. and we would have to clean up our shoes, put them at the foot of our bed, or leave them in the entranceway, all neatly lined up and stuff, and then they'd put presents on our shoes. No idea why. In Germany, they open stockings. I guess that kind of has to go with the shoes. I know some other countries in Europe do it a little differently too. For my kids, in order to keep the tradition going, I decided to give them a pair of hand-knit socks, their Christmas pajamas, and a book. So these were for Penny. I had this yarn in my stash. I can't remember where I got it from, and this was just 10 grams, so I made that go really far. And then 10 gram mini for the contrasting cuff and heel. And I love the yellow with the pink. It is definitely a favorite of mine. So it's a toe-up sock pattern with a heel flap gusset, and then a 1x1 cuff, and a sewn bind off. And I love it. I love how the yarn's striped. You can see that the striping broke when there was extra stitches here, but it's so fun, and they go up almost halfway up her leg, so lots of warmth on these ones. I think they're so fun. And then for Theo, I knit these. These are cuff down, so I did a 1x1 rib again because it's my favorite. Heel flap gusset. I used this black contrast that I had in my stash, and contrasting toe. And I had enough yarn for 2 socks, but they're not matching, because I think I ended up with 2 color repeats left in the little ball I had. I knit B a pair of socks in this colorway. It's the Doctor Who colorway from Area 51 Fibers, and this is just from the ball I had left over after I knit B socks. So great use of leftover yarn. And for B, now I have to apologize. He did just wear these last night when he came home from work. So these are his socks that I gave him on the 6th. This is the Robin colorway from West Yorkshire Spinners, and then I just used a contrasting mini for heel and toe. And it is this is West Yorkshire Spinners as well. So his socks are 64 stitches, cuff down, 1x1 rib, heel flap gusset, and my toe. So basically I just use my regular sock recipe, but I just make them vanilla. And yeah, they were really fast to knit. I loved it. Excuse me. So then I ordered yarn from Fireweed Fiber Co. And I had never purchased yarn from her before. Loved it. I was so happy. I saw she was having a crazy Boxing Day sale, so I was like, I gotta get something. So I placed an order. I got, oh, I should have brought it up. I didn't even think to bring it up, but I got a 100 gram skein of her Christmas yarn. It's like the gingerbread yarn that you see a lot of dyers dye up very similarly. And I'd always wanted a skein of it, and I thought it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I got that from her, and then I got 2 minis. And from those 2 minis, I managed to knit up a pair of socks for each of the kids. And those were their Christmas socks. So for Theo, what was his called? What's the yarn colorway called? I can't remember. I think it was like, no, I don't know. I just called them his Grinch socks because he's obsessed with the Grinch, and they're green on green. So so it was a 20 gram mini, so I broke it into 2 10 grams, and I knit this as far as I could get it. And honestly, I ran out of yarn after I finished the gusset increases. So I did the heel and the cuff in this contrasting color. And again, it's just a 1x1 rib and and I knit it a little longer. I think I did 20 rows, maybe 20 rows, and then I do a sewn bind off. So, and then the exact same thing happened with this one. So yeah, I really like it. Let me show you a close-up of the yarn. He was just wearing these, so apologies for the state of them. But I love the colorway. It's so great. So, so great. And then for Penny, I did the same thing. 20 gram mini that I split into 2 10-gram balls, and then I knit toe up until I ran out of yarn. And for her, I managed to finish most of the sock, and then I just did a contrasting cuff. And I think hers was called something snow globe, like inside a snow globe or something like that. And I thought it was beautiful. She had 2 or 3 other colors that she dyed up for Christmas, for her Christmas collection, but these ones stood out to me the most. Mainly Theo absolutely loves green. Anything green is good by him, so I had to get him that. And for Penny, who likes pink a lot, I am trying to give her more colors. Like, pink is not the only color, so it has a lot of pink in it, so I thought that was pretty good. But it also has white and green and purple and pink, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they make me so happy. I love them. So the goal is to write up a children's sock pattern for toe up socks. Just vanilla socks, give different cuff options, things like that. And yeah, I have now knit 3 pairs of toe up socks for the kids, so I'm sure I can use those for pictures, no problem. And then for B, I finally finished a pair of socks for him. I cast these on in February of 2019. I picked them up again in February of 2020, and I finished one. And then last 2020, yeah, and then December of 2021, I finished, yeah, the second sock. Again, he was just wearing these, so they are a little messy. But these are the, oh my goodness, it's blowing out so bad. It's black yarn. It's charcoal yarn from Ravenswood Fiber Co. And the toe, the yellow contrast, is from Hedgerow Yarns in the UK. And it was a 20 gram mini, but I didn't use the whole thing. I think I only used like 5 grams because of the heel, but probably 10. I don't know. I didn't weigh the ball after I was done. Anyway, these are the, see, again, sorry. These are the Atlantis Twins, and it's a pattern by Designs by Dells. And after casting on the sock, I instantly messed up the pattern, so I just kept it going. These lines, which you can see here is a little trident, hence Atlantis Twin as the name, and that's pattern goes down. It's supposed to be a slip stitch. I didn't slip. I just purled all the, because you knit it inside out, because nobody wants to do that much purling. So you're supposed to slip the purl on every other row or something like that. So I did not do that. But yeah, I love the mosaic heel. And yeah, these are very well loved. So yeah. I guess I should say I did a 64 stitch sock, or it's not exactly 64 stitches, it's some other number, like it's like 63 or 62 or something because of the pattern. and how many stitches he needed to complete the pattern. But yeah, it was really fun to knit. It went surprisingly quick despite the rib pattern. It was interesting though, because you're knitting it inside out and then you have to flip it out to do the heel, and then you have to flip it back to do the decreases, which I really liked for the decreases because you do them on the inside. So when you look at the sock after, you don't have any gusset lines. It was really fun. It was really cool. I like that part. It's like seamless. It was very nice. Let's see. I actually recently finished Penny's jumper that I cast on in December or November. I wanted to give it to her for Christmas, and that just did not happen. But this is the Mountain Mist pullover from Tin Can Knits, and I knit the 6 to 12 month size because that is Penny. It fits her exactly. It's a little big, but it's perfect. I don't know what it is about her. She fits into T, but some of her t-shirts are still like the 12-month size. She has some 18-month t-shirts that she still wears. It's odd. Even her birthday cardigan last year that I knit her from Tin Can Knits, it was the Gramps cardigan, and I knit that in a 6 to 12 month size, and I didn't have to make any adjustments. I didn't knit the sleeves longer, I didn't knit the body longer, nothing. I knit it exactly, checked it on her, fit her like a glove. I was like, okay. It's actually still quite a little big on her. I don't know if their sizing is generous or if she's just very petite, but she is tall for her age. So, I don't know, but this is it. So this is Cascade 220 that I used. This is natural. I don't know what the pink is called. The blue, I think, was called Pacific Heather. And then the body is knit in Aspen Heather. And the way they have the pattern done, they do it like a fade. So it really does look like Misty Mountains, and it's beautiful. But I chose to use different colors mainly because I used stash yarn. So this yarn is left over from different projects. And I just wanted to use up what I had rather than buying yarn to make her a little pullover, because this, I mean, you use so little yarn here, and this was just one skein. I actually still have a little bit of it left over. I didn't use up the whole thing, but I only have like maybe 5 grams left. Like, it's not much, but yeah, I think it just looks fun how they're like little upside down hearts and diamonds. I think that looks great. So it's like a little pop of color, and like I said, I tried it on her and it fits her real well. And yeah, I am, now that I finished my hat, because I was using a pair of needles I needed for the scarf, so I'm planning on knitting Theo one of these as well. And I have the yarn here, so I'm going to show you of what I'm planning to do. But I needed to finish my hat first because it's on US 6 needles. And to do the neckline, you need US 6 because I kept it to, I got gauge with their recommended needles. So for Theo, I am planning on doing, oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I was going to do the natural as well at the top. And then I was going to do the gray and then this one. Or maybe, yeah, no, I was going to do it like a fade. But obviously not like a fade. But yeah, this is what I was going to do for him. And then the body, I was going to knit in this, which is the same color as I used here. It's really blowing out, isn't it? But yes, it's much darker than that, like much darker. But yes, that is what I was going to use for him. And it's all Cascade 220 yarn as well. And this one is Cascade 220 Wave, which is left over from my throwover by Andrea Mowry that I did last year or the year before. Same with that gray. And this colorway, Pacific Heather, is left over from Bee's, what's it called? Rift? The Rift pullover from Brooklyn Tweed. Yeah, the Rift pullover, yeah. And I think I did that one last year. But yes, I have this and I have a full one still. Or a half of one, I don't know, but it's enough to do the body for him. So yes, that will be his. And this is left over from the Urban Adventure pullover by Sari Nordland, which I finished just last week. Ta-da! Yes, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And the thing I love about it the most is my color palette. So, sorry, I'm sitting cross-legged and my foot's falling asleep. I loved the pattern when it came out and got it right away. But then I couldn't decide on colors. I was having such a tough time deciding on colors. So, what do? You wait a couple months and then you search the pattern. I looked on Ravelry to see what people had done, and then I looked on Instagram, and I saw someone had knit it in these colors, and I fell in love. Mind you, the lady that knit this sweater in these colors was different. She didn't use Cascade. She used, I think it was her own hand-dyed yarn. This gray was much lighter, and this yellowy color was much lighter. So it was much more subtle, but I love it. This color, it's called Spun Gold Heather in Canada. I think it's called like Sunflower Heather or something in the US. It's a Cascade 220, and I had it left over from my weekender. So it was like, perfect. I have exactly one skein left. It'll be plenty. And I honestly have more left over. Then the pattern called for, at least for my size, it called for 2 skeins of this natural. I only used 1. So that's why I have that one left over. So I'm glad I can use it. And then, so that's natural. And then this is light gray heather. And I only bought 4 skeins of it because I had the Aspen Heather and I thought they were the same gray. They are not. Aspen is much lighter, as you can see. But I used 4 skeins. I used exactly 4 skeins. I did omit about 2 inches on the body because I liked where it fell. Plus, after blocking, I know this will grow a lot, so I didn't want to make the body too long. And it is longer in the back. You do some short row shaping after you finish the color work. So, yes. And the sleeves fit so good. So good. So the one thing I noticed is that, I don't know if it's just the Weekender or what, but Andrea Mowry's sleeves in the Weekender for my size were massive. Massive. Like, I was drowning in the yarn. I couldn't believe it. I already have larger arms than my body size, and I thought I was gonna have to make adjustments to make them bigger. I had to make the sleeves a lot smaller, like a lot smaller. I think she called for increasing the sleeves every like 5 or 10, maybe it was 10 rows. Every 10 rounds, you increase the sleeves. Or decreased the sleeves. You decrease the sleeves every like 10 rounds because you pick them up and then you decrease. For Andrea's pattern, I ended up changing the rate of decreasing by a third. So I think I decreased every 4 rounds or something to get to the right number. It was just ridiculous. And that's why I ended up with extra yarn, because the sleeves were a lot smaller than what they were supposed to be. Anyway, ta-da! I love this so much. I can't wait to get it blocked and to wear it. Yeah, I am so excited. It's gonna look so good. Yes. Anyway, first finished sweater of 2022. And the funny thing is that last January, I finished a sweater within the first like 2 weeks of January as well. I had my Felix pullover in yellow, and I had most of it done, and then I kind of just put it aside because December knitting needed to happen for everybody. Excuse me. And yeah, January came around and I was like, I am getting this done. And it was done. So yes. Oh. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I thought, never mind. It's okay. Anyway, one more finished object I have to share with you is my newest design. It is my cowl, knit in partnership with my local yarn store. They got some new yarn in and they needed a pattern design for it. And it's off center. Ugh, it's hard. It's hard to show you what it looks like. There we go. It's one of these. It's asymmetrical. It's seamed on the back. I know it looks awkward, but that's only because I was only given one skein and told to just use the one skein. So, but I do have to tell you this. What I did is I cast on more stitches than I knew I would end up with on this edge. This edge here, because it sits higher on your neck. Let me demonstrate. There. See that? It sits nice and tall on your neck. Now, if I had done it with less stitches, it would have sat like here. And nobody wants that, because the point of a cowl is to keep your neck warm. And if it's sitting down here, then it's just like a necklace. So yes, there it is. The bottom comes down to a point. We have nice little eyelets, and you can't feel that the back is different, like they're not aligned. They're actually right in the middle. I joined them right in the middle, and it gives you, like, because it's smaller than it should be, it still gives you lots of room to put it on over your head. I have about a 24-inch size head, so I am like an adult extra large when it comes to hats. So if I can get it over my head, I know you can get it over your head. And like, look, there's still lots of room to get it off. And yes, I played around with it quite a bit on placement to figure out where it would go exactly, because if I lined them up and didn't give you this extra little gap here, then you wouldn't get it over your head. So yes, I do love the little I-cord edge I have here. It keeps everything nice and tidy. And then the bind off also keeps everything nice and tidy and stretchy. And I got little eyelets. And I should probably tell you about the yarn. So this is Katia Concept, and it's called Cassiopeia. Let's go with that one. And I looked it up, and it's a constellation, which just sounded lovely. So I used that to name the cowl. So it's the Cassiopeia cowl. And it's asymmetric. It's knit flat. It's got these fun little eyelets. So this is your cast on edge. And then you just knit until you get to here. And then you bind off here. And then it's sewn here. So yeah, it's weird. I'll have a diagram so that you can see how it works. But the pattern is currently in testing. The yarn is bulky weight. It's wool and mohair, and then it's got these little like sequins everywhere, and they're attached to the yarn. So it was interesting to knit with. It's actually very interesting to knit with, but it's beautiful. I love it. It looks really, really nice, and it's actually very, very warm, despite being such like an airy and light fabric. Like, look at that. So it's also knit on size 10, US 10 needles. Excuse me. But yes, it's knit on US 10 needles, and it knits up super quick. So my testers are doing things like holding 2 skeins of worsted together, or one did like an Aran and mohair held together, or it's just bulky weight yarn, just light, breathable, bulky weight yarn. So yeah, it's really cool seeing all the different ways you can make this cowl with different yarns come together. It's actually really nice. So yeah, I'm hoping to release that pattern in about 2 weeks. Yeah, although most of my test knitters are almost done now, so maybe next week. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I have a half-finished object, which is my new sock design. I still have to do the second sock, but I will show you the first one. It's going to be hard to see because of the yarn I used, but this is Akara Yarns. It's called Gettin' Hoogie with it. And it's got this lovely pattern on the front that makes me think of evergreens. And then I added radiating pearl stitches here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but yeah. So it's lace, it's got a bit of a cable, it's got texture, there's a cable on the back, and I did a rolled cuff for something different, and I added a pop of color from the 20 gram mini that comes with the set, because why not? And it's part of the reason why I did the rolled cuff. And I like the cuff because on the front, where you stop the pattern, there's like a line. I don't know. Thought it was fun to do something very, very different than your standard 1x1 rib or whatever. So yeah. There's kids outside playing on the mountain. I thought it was Penny who's taking a nap right now. And it's like, please don't be up yet. I'm not ready for it. But yeah, here. Maybe you can see it better. It's blowing out quite a bit. So yeah, that is also in testing. Those are called the Spruce Grove socks. They are knit toe up with a heel flap and gusset construction. Yeah, so that one should be out in February sometime. 9th, I think, is the test knit deadline, so sometime after that. And the last thing I have to show you is I picked up Bee's Radmere cardigan by Michelle Wong, Brooklyn Tweed. Is it Wong or is it Wang? I'm so sorry. I don't know. I can't remember. I do know that it's Michelle, and it's not Jared Flood, who is the other who designed the Rift pullover. Or was that Michelle as well? I know they have way more designers than that, but I seem to gravitate towards Michelle and Jared's patterns the most. So yes, anyway, it's the Radmere. And it's this beautiful all over cable cardigan with a giant shawl collar. And it is taking a really long time to knit this thing. I keep having to put it away on hiatus because I just don't have the brain space to work on it. Because as much as I love cables, it is a lot. Like a lot. So I started this in 2018. In 2018. It was going to be Bee's Christmas present that year. And I started it early enough in the year that I should have been able to finish it. But Theo was 1 or just turning 1, and I went back to work in August of that year. Maybe it was, no, Penny was born in 2019. No. Yeah, so Theo hadn't turned 1 yet, so he was only like 6 or 8 months when I started this. That's what it was 6 or 8 months. And because I was still new to knitting, I couldn't knit it all the time. So if he was taking a nap, that's when I was working on it. Anyway, here is the sleeve. That's the other thing. All the pieces are knit separately flat, which is fine. I prefer it that way, to be honest with you. And less steps, less things to do, like increase stitches while also learning this cable here. It would just be crazy. Anyway, it's already crazy enough because while you're doing this side, you're also doing this side for the sleeves, and you're also cabling, and then you're decreasing cables, and it was just, oh my goodness. But this is the sleeve. Okay, I don't have it on me, do I? Do I? No, it must be back in the bag. Yeah, I have a giant bag for this because I'm using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. And if you know anything about Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, it comes in 200 yards balls, 50 gram balls. Yeah, 50 grams. It's like 220 yards or something. No, one something? No, it's not 220. Anyway, they're 50 gram balls. So for this whole entire project, I needed like 15 balls of yarn. So this is the left front, which is what I am currently working on. So what they have you do is they have you decrease and bind off at the same time, but also while doing that, you're doing this, and then you have to do something over here while you're doing this still, and it's just, I had to write out each row just to be able to keep track of everything I have to do. And now I realized, as I was looking at the other panel, because I have the right front panel done as well, that I am decreasing the neck edge wrong. It says to decrease every 4th row. And like, I've already done this, so I should remember it, but because I did it last year, I don't remember. So it tells you to decrease every 4th row as before, but as before, they had you decreasing every right side row. So to me, that meant every 4th right side row. So that's 8 rows in between, because wrong side, right side, all that kind of stuff. And to do that 13 times. But if I was to do that 13 times, this armhole would be 20 inches, not 9 inches. So thinking about it that way, I figure they mean every 4th row. So wrong side, right side, wrong side, right side, decrease. So I need to rip back like 16 rows or so. And I am not looking forward to that because it's cables. But hopefully I can do it without messing it up too bad. But Bee's birthday is on the 27th. today is the 18th. It's not happening. It's not happening. So yes, Christmas. Let's aim for Christmas. So yeah. All right. That is everything I have to share with you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully I don't take too long to come up with the next podcast episode. So, bye.